I've been profoundly touched deep in my soul and spirit by Watchman Nee's messages. I strongly, highly recommend you to find his messages on YouTube. If you don't know him, he's with the Lord. He was a young Chinese Christian imprisoned for his faith, died at a very young age due to sickness. But he was so close to the Lord. And thanks to his suffering in that prison, enduring the atrocities of the Chinese Communist movement, it brought him into this depth of knowing the Lord, and was able to share treasures, mainly that it is not about observing rituals. And that's why from a very young age, when I was raised Catholic back in Egypt where I was born, or Orthodox, my father was Orthodox, both religions, I had an animosity towards the church, their rituals, their customs, their traditions, the way they just practiced everything, because I felt it was fake. It was empty of the Spirit of God. I could see that it had not transformed people in their hearts. They would continue to fight, to argue, to be bitter, to be angry, to commit violence. And so it was clear for me that these religions are not working. They're not creating within people the image of Jesus. And that's why I connect so much with Watchman Nee's teachings, because he discovered that as well. That it is only when we are completely submerged in the Spirit, when the Holy Spirit takes hold of us completely, that we can live the life that Jesus told us about. To have life and more abundantly. This is what he meant. That we are so filled with him that nothing in the world disturbs us anymore. That we have renounced everything we thought would bring us joy. And I remember, when I go back and I remember why I was always so dissatisfied, empty inside, unhappy. I was married at a very young age. I was 18. I had both my children by 21. And from a worldly perspective, I had everything to be happy. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had a husband that provided for all of our needs. Beautiful big house in a beautiful, rich neighborhood with a swimming pool, with a car, vacations, everything. Everything one could imagine would make you happy. And yet, by the age of 22, 23, I was like, something is wrong, something is missing. And I thought, there was something wrong with me. But looking back now, I understand, I know that it was God Himself that was putting this discomfort inside of me to force me to seek for Him, because I wasn't seeking for Him at that time. I believed in Him like most people. I was raised believing in Him, but in the wrong way. And I was also practicing other things. I was into New Age, practicing yoga, transcendental meditation. I was into all kind of occult practices that destroyed me, basically. And I kept searching. And yet that hole inside me was persistent. He did not let go of me until I finally accepted Him. And it was late in my life. I was 48 when I made Jesus total Lord and Master of my life. And I renounced everything else. If you're listening, if you're watching, and you're young, don't wait one more minute. Don't waste your time struggling to obtain a diploma, to be successful in the world, to make money. None of this matters, my friends. Jesus is coming back very soon. And that's why all this, I feel like all this pressure in my life anyways, and when I speak to other believers, they tell me the same thing. They feel this this speed of transformation within themselves. Yes, because He wants to prepare us. He wants us to be ready to meet Him. Are we ready, my friends? Have you made Him total Lord of your life? Are you living by the Spirit, or are you still living by the flesh? What are you still holding on to? Is it your family? Your job? The money you've accumulated, which is not yours anyways? Nothing is ours. Your children? What? What holds you back? God will not share you with anyone or anything else if your main goal, your main focus is not about Him. You will never find peace. You will never get to know Him. Many believers have a split life. They want to have Jesus on one hand, but they want to continue also having the pleasures of the world. It cannot work like that, my friends. I'm not saying that we cannot enjoy what the Lord has provided for us through nature, through His creation, through beautiful things, but it must not become an addiction. Examine your life. Look deeply in your habits every day. If you are more drawn to, video games or just social media, all this headache, Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. This is the work of the devil, my friends. It's the work of the devil to distract you, to pull you away from what truly matters, your inner life with Jesus. What is Twitter and all these other social medias can do for your spirit? Absolutely nothing. You want to be popular? You want to have many followers? For what? Garbage. It's all rubbish. Throw it out. No amount of fasting, of praying, of rituals, going to church, doing all the what seems to be right will give you life in the Spirit, as when you go directly to Him in silence and submit and say, Lord, take away everything in me that you see is preventing me from having the fullness of your Spirit. I want to belong to you and you alone. My kingdom is not of this world. I don't want to have anything that will displease you. I want to commit all of me to you, all of me. And He will do it. I promise you. He has done it in my life. He has removed so many false concepts I had of who I was. He's shown me the darkness that is still in my heart. I'm not totally there, my friends. None of us are. Only when Jesus returns will we be made completely like Him. But until then, what are we seeking? What are we pursuing? Make sure you're on the narrow path that very few find. The path that leads to life in Him. And if you have to walk alone, so be it. Because very few choose this path. They don't want to give up the treasures they've accumulated on earth, like the rich young ruler who turned away in sadness, broken, because he could not renounce all the richness that he had, unfortunately. I believe Jesus was saddened about that as well, but He did not stop him. He did not go after him. Why? Because it's our choice. It's our decision. That's how much He loves us. He will never force us into anything. Contrary to the world, how the world wants to force you into a system, wants to control you, wants to dominate you. That's satanic. It's demonic. And believe it or not, some so-called evangelical churches are also like that. They have dominating preachers that want you to follow them, to do what they tell you to do, rather than point you to Jesus. If you're in such a church, my friends, get out. It is not appointed by God to be like that. So I encourage you, I implore you even, give up all these rituals, these traditions, these customs. Renounce all worldly traditions from your culture. Are you still practicing them? Any pagan holidays? Get away from all that. Make Jesus your only goal. Have a fervent devotion to Him. No one else and nothing else. And be filled with His Spirit. And have the life that He promised you. It is possible, my friends, right here, right now, to be ready in this way before He comes back. God bless you.